We are very pleased to be with you again to speak of the next stage, the stage of surrender, of surrendering to the force that is moving within and without, surrendering to the insistency of the call, surrendering to the burning flame that burns away all illusion. And though it may often feel as if you are being taken control of, so to speak, as if your life is no longer your own, so to speak, this is not so. You are simply surrendering to the divine beloved, to the beloved nature, to your true nature. In the surrendering there is a recognition that there is nothing now for you, the identified you, to do. There is no action that needs to be taken specifically. There is no lesson to be learned consciously. There is only a opening up, a expansion, a expression of a broader, wiser you. And you feel yourself stepping back and allowing this energy, this divine force, to begin to work in you, work through you, speak through you. So in your interactions with others, there is an honesty and a brevity to your interactions. There is a willingness to speak only that which is authentic, though it may cause those around you often some confusion that you seem to have lost all awareness of social norms and social rules, that perhaps you should not have said that in that way on that subject matter. Perhaps you should have adhered to the social norms and polite responses. And yet in the surrendering, this is the burning away. The burning away of the illusion includes the burning away of anything that is perceived by your selfness as unreal, as not in alignment with, you see. And it may cause you mild embarrassment to see the words that you often feel like are blurting out of your mouth with little control from you, or sensations within the body that may be very strong and wish to be acted upon that you may not be willing to act upon, and yet the surrender is insisting. The surrendering energy is insisting and insistent. It is because of this that you find your life becoming more spontaneous, more in a state of unfoldment, as opposed to directed and rigidly controlled in the way that you attempted to play before. You may have spent much time visualizing and focusing and thinking positively and aiming for outcomes, and this too will continue to happen, for you are here in the material world. And yet, what you will begin to find is, if those goals and aims and plans and strategies are not in alignment with your return, with your call, with your surrendering, that your wishes somehow do not seem to reach fruition, your desires do not seem to manifest in a way that pleases you, and you may find yourself resisting this aspect of the surrender, for you wish to be in control. And much like in the first stage of the call, where you would forget to hear the call and then the call called you, where you would remember the call and then forget the call, the same occurs in the surrendering process, where you wish to give up control, be guided and assimilated into a broader energy that knows, and yet you wish to rebel, much like the adolescent. You wish to have the boundaries and the greater force that is taking care of all situations, and yet the freedom to rebel at any point and say, no, not this, not this. And it is in this stage of the surrender where you begin to recognize that you surrender even that wish, that desire to say, no, not this, for you are on the path. And what you are rebelling against is the knowledge that there is only forward movement. There is only forward movement. There is only evolution and broadening and expansion. That is the characteristic of this stage. And it may not always feel to you in your human form, in your earthly experience, like evolution and expansion. It may feel the very opposite. You may feel you are constricted in your expression. And that is the rebelling. But if you were truly to embrace the surrender and the surrendering energy that is moving within you, moving through you, expressing as you, then the constriction, the feelings of constriction would begin to fade, you see. The constriction comes about for you fear that the great love that is calling you perhaps does not love you as much as you hoped. Perhaps does not really know who you are and what your deepest desires are. Perhaps does not wish for you what you wish for you. Perhaps has some malevolent energy to it. And so the fear causes the constriction. For if you truly knew and believed with deep, deep intent that this energy, this call, this surrender was guiding you home to a love that was beyond human understanding and beyond human experiencing, that was beyond blissful, that was beyond joyful and heavenly, it was beyond all beyondness, there would be nothing to resist. It would simply be a diving into a pool of love that has no end, that has no boundary, that has no focus except to love, and to love more, and to love more, and to love more. How much love can you withstand is the question of the surrendering process. How much love can you withstand? How much peace will you allow yourself to experience? How much knowing will you allow yourself to feel? These are the questions of the surrenderer. And you will see in time that the surrendering is allowing greater and greater and greater quantities of these states of mind and body and spirit simultaneously. And so, as part of this surrendering, allow yourself to writhe against, push against, resist the process of the birth into yourself, much like the child in the womb at the time of giving birth resents the constrictions and the contractions that are pushing it forward through this alien space that it does not know, this hole, this dark, deep space it does not recognize. It is not the safety of the womb it has known, even though the womb has now become constrictive and there is no room for growth. All that was to be known there and performed there has been known and performed, and now there could only be stagnancy if that child were to remain in that space. And it experiences these uncomfortable sensations, these forces that are unknown and unknowable to it, that seem to be controlling it and pushing it through into an experience it does not wish to have. But the joy at the birthing of itself, the joy of the first breath and the lungful of air in this new, somewhat scary environment, for it is vast, it seems vast, and there are beings who are huge, and lights and noises and sensations and smells and tastes, so much stimulation for the senses, you see. But the relief to be out of that constricting birthplace. This is the energy of surrender, for when you are in your restrictive womb of human experience, of material existence, and you have undergone the call, the conception, you see, and you began to grow away from conditionings and structures and programs. You began to grow away from prescribed ways of behaving, prescribed belief systems. You began to question things that were long held dear. This is the incubation in the womb, you see. You cannot see the outcome from where you are. And the surrendering is the development of this fetus, the development of this form, as it sprouts its separate identities, its separateness. First it was a collection of cells, and that morphed then into a being, but a being with no definition, and then morphed again into individual aspects of itself that were showing up as fingers and toes and noses and mouth and hair and eyes and skin, internal organs, cells upon cells upon cells, all containing vast amounts of information. Yes, this is the surrender, you see. On a cellular level, there is an expansion and an awakening also. There is a surrendering to your itness, your wisdom, your knowing, your clarity, the beloved that is you, the all of allness, the absolute of absolutes, the expansions of expansions, the void of all voids, the fullness of all fullness, your nature. And it is in this beginning to experience aspects of this along the journey of the surrender that allows you to begin to breathe. But the breaths now are not just within your human body, within your human form, within your human lungs. The breath now becomes expanded, and you feel the energy of this vastness, this wholeness, this unfathomableness. As you inhale and you exhale, subtle energies now become the norm to you. Dense material existence now seems to be becoming thinner and thinned. Yes. The earth that was once solid now feels sponge-like. Forms that appeared solid now appear less solid. Thoughts and ideas that appeared entrenched now appear less entrenched. Beliefs about yourself and who you are fall away within this vastness, this wholeness, this absolute of absolutes. As you breathe in and breathe out through this cosmic breath, through your true nature, this is what allows the form to be led and guided to its greatest expression. Resist not, for it is your call. You are the creator. You are the source. It is predestined, is it not? It is a familiarity, is it not? It is your siren song, is it not? Hypnotic, compelling, compelled. Surrender to this. Surrender to this, the compelled one, for that is who you are. And it is in this stage that a new opening begins to occur. A new opening, yet another experience of a birth canal, but this canal has no limits, no boundaries. It is a birthing into, and a birthing of, and a birthing as itself. Allow the stillness in that to bathe you now, to soothe you now, for this is the return. This is the point of your journey. This is the calling. This is the surrender. This is the ultimate outcome. We ask you to spend some time with this piece, this second piece. Listen and re-listen. Listen and re-listen. For each time that you listen to the call and the surrender, the return becomes more tangible, yes. And the paradox of the return is that there was never a leaving. There was never a leaving. It is an evolutionary cycle. Your sages, your teachers have often used the example of before enlightenment. Chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. This is what we are alluding to. You never left. You never left. This for now is enough. And we look forward to sharing with you, being with you in your returning. We have much, much love for you. You are loved. And all is well.